to do to begin. Kind of unload the freeway, do a little breathing. If you have a prayer book near you, now would be a good time to grab one. It's a Hebrew book, so it goes from right to left. And we're going to turn to the top of page 70 in the prayer book, and we're looking at the black page numbers, top of page 70. If you have done this correctly, you will find Hine Matov, how good it is for us to be here. Top of page 70. If you know this, please sing along. Hine Matov manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matov manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. On the facing page, top of 71, Ma Gadlu. So this is probably new to most of you. I'll teach you the song. In fact, let's do a little two-part singing. I will teach you your part. Once you have mastered it, you will go off on your own, and I will sing my part on top, and it'll be really beautiful. It's all in Hebrew, but don't freak out because I'll sing all the hard words. Your part is just going to be the last word sung 4 times. It goes like this. Hallelujah. 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 Pretty easy, right? Should be good. So the idea is to take a deep breath before each hallelujah. And then hold out the yah nice and long. Make it beautiful. So take a breath. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Big breath. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's try that. Go. Hallelujah. Not bad. Hallelujah. Take a deep breath. You can do louder. Come on. Hallelujah. Nice. Very beautiful. Now, yeah. So I think we can do it just a little bit better. I was chatting with Eden just a few moments ago, and she told me that this was a very intelligent group, and you probably memorized your parts by now. So you don't need the book. Close the book. And smile when you sing. Take a breath. A little louder. Come on. Yeah, that's good. Keep going. Hallelujah. Breath. Keep singing. I'll do my part. Keep going. Gadol ma'asecha me'od hamakom machshavot. breath. Magadu Ma'asechaya Me'od Amaku Machshavotecha. Breathe. So besides it being Shabbat tonight, we're celebrating Eden becoming a bat mitzvah. She actually became a bat mitzvah in Israel, like last June, right?
Yeah, June 27th.
June 27th, to be exact, was the day. And Eden became a bat mitzvah with two other congregants, two other young people. Samantha Pofsky and Eli Kalin, thank you. And it was a lovely ceremony. Are you going to talk at all about where it was and what it was about? Okay, so I won't blow any of that. Huh? I was definitely there. I had a great time, but I don't want to. You know.
Take my spiel.
Yeah, I don't. What? Say that again.
Take my spiel.
I don't want to take your spiel, exactly, yeah. But I did write a song for the occasion of my youngest child's bar mitzvah, and so I would like to dedicate this to your mother and father. Well, he's been studying his Torah portion for, I don't know how long. I don't know why, but my wife keeps thinking the bar mitzvah's going all wrong. She says it's a big affair, and I haven't a thing to wear, but I say, don't worry, baby, don't worry, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby, baby, ooh. I guess I should have kept my mouth shut when I start to quell about my kid. But I can't back down now because I invited every relative. The caterer wants to make a chopped liver layer cake, and I say, don't worry, baby, don't worry, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby, baby, ooh. We redecorated, paid the orthodontist and the Hebrew school a check. I've spent my 401k and my IRA, but oy vey, what the heck? My life's in disarray, but it's a special day, and I say, don't worry, baby, don't worry, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby, baby, ooh. Okay, so no applause, no applause. But what you can do, the way we applaud in the sanctuary is by going like this. That's a way deaf people applaud. And with that, if everybody could snap their fingers like this, I will show you how. Wait, not yet. Or if you can't snap your fingers, you can slap your thighs, and it would be like this. Yeah, keep that going. Well, God gives us the moon and the stars, juicy pineapples and candy bars, mommies and daddies, family and friends. There's lots of things that God sends. Now say oi, 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 oi. Well, God gives us Shabbat, a day of peace. Hanukkah, Purim, and the Passover feast. On Shabbat, God gives us challah and wine and cookies at the oneg that taste so fine. Come on. Oi, 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 oi. You see, Hanukkah is the festival of light. One more candle burns every night. The latkes fry and the dreidel spins. There's gifts to give. Everybody wins. Oi, 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 oi. Now at Purim time, we get to dress up weird with a funny mask or a big long beard. Usually at the temple, we are good girls and boys, but at Purim, we make lots of noise! Oi, 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 oi. Now on Passover, we don't eat bread, no buns, no biscuits, only matzah instead. The apple chopped with nuts is fun to eat, and when I find the afikomen, there's a special treat. Come on, oi, 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 oi. You see, to everyone and everything that lives, there's lots of things that God gives. You want to light some candles? Come on up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat La 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 Ya la 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 ya la 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 Ya la 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 Good Shabbos, everybody. You can go sit down, eat and stay up, get your guitar. So, you know, Good Shabbos is actually Yiddish. So Shabbat Shalom is Hebrew, Sabbath of peace. Gut is Yiddish for good, Shabbos. So as you were lighting the candles, Sari, I was reminded of when I was maybe just a year younger than Eden. I grew up in Oxnard, and there were very few Jews there, and I think there were only 3 Jews in the county at my age group, my friends, three kids in my class. There was one synagogue in Ventura where my father was the cantor, and my grandma, my mama Tessie, her name was Tessie, we called her Mama. Friday night, I have 2 older brothers. This is what I was thinking about while I was singing the song. We were the three of us would be running around the house, being crazy, like I'm sure your 3 kids running around the house. And Mama would take a little, like a doily. What was it called? Anyway, like a little thing over her head. She would light the candles, and we would like freeze and like stop, and it would get very quiet, just like it did with your family around. So as the 5 of you were there, that's what I was flashing on. And do you notice, everybody, how the mood in the room changed from the festive kind of pre-oneg, the food and drink and community and conversation, to what happened once we lit the candles. This is kind of the root of kadosh, of holiness. Nothing really changes. Those candles are just candles. But what has changed is our relationship to this moment. And we're going to continue worshiping and doing some prayers. Eden's going to lead us in a few. We're in the prayer book. I'm going to say page 28 is the Baruch Hu. And if you're comfortable, you can rise, and Eden's going to lead us. Page 28 in the prayer book. Remember, it's a Hebrew book. Please rise if you're comfortable. Black page number is 28. Go ahead. We'll continue on page 35.
Oh, yeah. My bad, sorry.
That's all right.
If in loss you feel afraid and you don't know what to say, then listen to what is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? And listen to what Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen to what when the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen to what you can't hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley
able, you can rise again and we'll sing the Shema together. Today we're getting some hand waves. That was lovely. That was lovely. We'll continue with the Micha Mocha, which is on page 40. Micha Mocha, la 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 la. We'll continue on page 44. You can sing with me if you want, or sit down, either way, whatever you want. Page 44. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת Shabbat vayinafar.
ושומרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לטובתם ברית עולם.
Page 48. If you're able, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Agadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Page 52. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
Thank you guys for having such an amazing service. All right. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you all for coming today to the synagogue on Shabbat, especially since today is also Valentine's Day, the most cherished... Sorry.
Slow down, and we're going to start completely over.
Okay.
But you're going to do it like you're delivering a speech, not like you're talking on the telephone.
Okay, cool.
How about that?
Don't worry about it.
That's okay. But I'm gonna hold on just a second, because I want to take the some of the reverb off your voice, because it was more of a singing kind of thing. We'll have a better clarity. Okay, and now you will deliver a little speech about your experience.
All right. Thank you all for coming to the synagogue on Shabbat, especially since today is Valentine's Day, the most cherished holiday in our family, without a doubt. Since today is all about love and friendship, I wanted to bring you all together to share this special Shabbat service and tell you about my incredible and cool experience of becoming a B'nai Mitzvah in Israel this past summer, and how no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, you should go visit that amazing country. Before we left, I wondered how all the different cultures and faiths could coexist in Israel. I wondered if I'd feel comfortable and safe like I do here. As Rabbi Paul says, Israel is a complex and nuanced country, and I think I know what he means now. All politics aside, when you're in Israel, people get along just like people do here in Los Angeles. Everyone is just trying to provide happiness for themselves, their children, and their community around them. It was an incredible experience to witness families just like ours living and thriving together in such a contested place. One of my favorite experiences was going on an archaeological dig in the Tel Maresha National Park. This is because one of my favorite subjects in school is history. Standing on top of the cave, we could actually see the famous valley of where the story of David and Goliath supposedly took place. Once we climbed down into the cave, we got to use tools to help in the excavation. I even found 6 pieces of pottery. After our excavation, my brothers, dad, and I went spelunking in an unexcavated cave. This was such a fun experience because we got to jump through holes into new rooms within the cave and see how the Byzantine Empire made shelves in fully intact pots. I felt like I was Indiana Jones. I don't know about you guys. While we were off spelunking, my mom, Nanny, and Poppy went into a fully excavated cave to see an ancient olive oil factory, complete with a large wheel-like stone to crush the olives, weights to press out the oil from the crushed olives, and holders for the bottled olive oil. Best of all, this was the coldest place on the trip. Another highlight of the trip was my actual B'nai Mitzvah with two of my friends in a 2,000-year-old temple in Katrine in the Golan Heights, which, if you guys didn't know, is in northern Israel. What made it so special was that many of us on the trip were there with our parents, grandparents, and siblings. It was pretty amazing to be B'nai Mitzvah in Israel, representing 3 generations of our family, especially since my 6th cousin on my Poppy side of the family was Theodor Herzl. He was the founder of the Zionist movement, which means he's basically the founder of the Jewish state of Israel. Having my grandparents, parents, and brothers pass the Torah to me in an ancient temple truly represented the Jewish custom of Lador Vador, from generation to generation. While celebrating our own ancient ritual at this historic site, we saw other groups dressed up in clothes people would have 2,000 years ago and doing the same ancient activities. Rabbi Paul said that during this B'nai Mitzvah, we were living the history. We were not trying to pretend it. And I think that made the B'nai Mitzvah way more special. The architecture of Israel was fascinating to me because I could literally see how different civilizations built and left their landmarks all throughout Israel. Especially in Jerusalem, it was so interesting for me to see how the Jews constructed their buildings compared to the Arabs, compared to the Romans, and many other civilizations there. For me, as someone who loves engineering and architecture, I really appreciated the uniqueness of each civilization's architecture and the engineering features that enabled structures to be admired thousands of years later. Tonight, I would also like to tell you a little bit about my mitzvah project I've worked on for a few years with my mom. So we worked with this organization called Shar Sheret, and Shar Sheret is an organization that helps families with breast or ovarian cancer get the care they need. They create busy boxes for the kids so they don't have to worry about their parents. They give free genetic screenings and counseling, help pay for treatment, and give patients the resources they need to win the battle against cancer. For my mitzvah project, my mom and I teamed up with Shar Sheret and hosted annual bake sales, which over the course of 2 years raised over $5,000 to support Shar Sheret's work. There is an information table out in the front if you guys wanted to check it out. And thanks to all of you who have helped us reach that goal. I hope you enjoyed the sweets we baked just for you. Speaking of sweets, thank you for sharing in my sweet celebration, and we hope you enjoy some of our favorite recipes tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yep. Eden, we obviously didn't plan this. Would you like to maybe take a few questions from the floor?
Oh, Yeah.
Anybody
sure.
have any questions about her speech?
Or Israel, whatever.
Yeah.
No?
Okay, Mom,
Yeah.
get it rolling here.
I'd like to know when you're running for president.
What's the minimum age for president?
35.
35?
So if I'll be 13 on the 20th. So that means in 18 plus. Wait, give me a sec. Okay, so in 23 years it will be 2043. So in 24 years I will be able to run for president.
Good. And
Or
we have a
2044. Sorry.
Eden, a question over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your name?
That is Grammy.
Oh, Grammy. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. I just wanted to yeah. Go, Grammy. What's your question?
The new proposed treaty or solution to what they call the two-state versus one-state solution, because you visited all the settlements and you knew how, not all the settlements, but you know how difficult it is where the settlements are and where the land is for the Palestinians. What is your thought about that? I'm sure you've heard about it.
Well, so
Okay, hold on. Just for those that couldn't hear, Grammy's asking a political question about the solution. Eden's thoughts about the solution of the Palestinian-Israeli, and specifically whether you have any comment about the proposed new solution.
So I don't want to leave the politics to me, but what I think is that people who have their history there should also be able to worship whatever they want there, and they should coexist. But the people, they need to figure something out so that they can live together and work together and just provide happiness like how we do here in Los Angeles, because it works in so many places, but a lot of conflict is caused because of a little bit of mishaps that has brought attention to the media. So if we have people actually standing in the streets, talking to people, going to the Gaza Strip, going to Jerusalem, like, we can help people coexist together and find a way to live together like nothing happened really. Although things did happen, so people can live together and have a good time, provide for their families, have happiness, and have a good life.
Eden and 44. Eden and 44. All right, we're going to take two more questions. What's your name? Andy? You are what?
Auntie.
Auntie. Okay, so very good.
Whatever.
Mhm.
I wanted to know about your Torah portion. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eden had a very specific Torah portion, and Auntie was asking about, we're talking about the Torah portion she read in Israel. Okay, what was that?
So my Torah portion was about how Moses sent the 12 spies into Canaan when they were just getting out of Egypt and trying to figure out how they could go back to Israel. So the 12 spies, they went in and they saw that, wow, this land is amazing, but there are giants here. We won't be able to live with them. They'll destroy us. So to prove to Moses that this land was the land of milk and honey, as said in the Torah, they brought back a massive thing of grapes, and it had 5 spies had to carry it. Not just one, like a small thing of grapes. It was massive. 5 spies had to carry it. And
One bunch of grapes.
one bunch of grapes.
One bunch of grapes, so big.
Yeah, very big. And Moses didn't really believe them, and only 2 people believed in God and had faith in the Israelites and that they could live with the giants in Canaan. So that was Caleb and Jacob. They said, hey, Moses, you should talk to God because, you're good at that stuff. And you should think what we do, because God told us to go to Israel or Canaan, like whatever they called it then, and we do not want him to be upset. So Moses was like, okay, I'll go talk to God. But God said, you have to talk to this rock for me. Moses was like, that's dumb. I've already talked to a burning bush, so I'm not going to talk to a rock. And instead, he kicked the rock. That's why you always hear the Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years, because God punished the Jews so that all of the slavery generations from Egypt would die off, and a new generation of Jews would be reborn, and the only 2 of the people who were enslaved, who got to go into Israel, were Caleb and Jacob, because they believed in God and did not want to be smited. So that was my Torah portion, but my actual specific part was naming all of the 12 spies. So yeah.
Very good. Last question. What's your name?
Bethany.
Bethany.
When are you writing The World According to Eden? When are you writing your book? I think you should start now, baby.
I can start now.
Okay.
Okay. Why not? Give it a shot.
Very good. Thank you, Eden. Let's return to our prayer book on page 341. Lechi la, to a land that I will show you. Sit down. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi la, to a place that I will show you. Lesimchat chaim, lesimchat chaim, you shall be a blessing. Lechi la. I shortened it a little bit. Page 253 in the prayer book. In the midst of our service, we take a couple moments out to think about those who are not feeling well and are in need of some healing. That's one of the moments to which I'm referring. Our tradition is to actually speak their names out loud, like my Uncle Bill or my mother Fanny or whatever. And I'll pass my hand around if you want to offer up these names, people who may be mentally hurting or emotionally challenged or physically ill.
Kelly. Sherry. Barry Krause. My friend Marco Olszewski.
Julian Schiller, Barbara Manzet.
Joan Howard.
Let's join together. Eden, you want to sing with me? Misha Bera? The ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Eden talked about her Torah portion. The Torah is held in the Ark, for those of you that may not be quite so familiar. And it is the 5 books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and it is read, a portion is read every week. This week's portion is really, really cool because the Jews are right at Mount Sinai, and they are getting the 10 Commandments. And it's arguably one of the climaxes of the whole Torah. So most people don't know exactly how the 10 Commandments came about. God was looking for a chosen people, and so obviously he went to the Egyptians first. And he went to the Egyptians and he said, "The Egyptians, will you be my chosen people?" And they said, "Well, what do we got to do?" And God said, "Well, you have to follow my commandments." And they said, "Well, what's that?" And God said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." And they said, "Oh, no, that's not going to work for us. We got a sun god, we got a river god, we got a cat god, we got a sun, I mean, all kinds of gods. So that's just not going to work." So then God went to the Phoenicians, and he said, "Phoenicians, will you be my chosen people?" And they said, "Well, what do we got to do?" And God said, "You just have to follow my commandments." And they said, "Well, what's that?" And God said, "Well, thou shalt not steal." And they said, "Well, no, that's not going to work for us because we're a seafaring, trading people, and we come and we rob and raid, and that's how we do our thing." And so God, a little frustrated, he went to the Hittites, and he goes to the Hittites. He says, "Will you be my chosen people?" And they said, "Well, what do we got to do?" And God says, "Just follow my commandments." "What is that?" He said, "Well, thou shalt not kill." He said, No. They said, "No, that's not going to work. We're a warlike people. We got spears and stuff, and we go and kill people and take over all their stuff, and that's not going to work." And God, one by one, he went to all the different civilizations, and finally, in exasperation, he sees this ragtag people wandering lost in the desert, and he goes up to them and he says, "Hebrews, will you be my chosen people?" They said, "Well, what do we have to do?" He said, "You just have to follow my commandments." And they said, "Well, how much are they?" And he said, "They're free." He says, "Okay." They said, "Okay, we'll take 10. Okay. I just want you to know that my wife Gail and I follow the 10 Commandments. She follows 6 of them, and I follow the other 4. And I would like to offer up some suggestions. They call them the 10 Commandments, but I have 10 suggestions, kind of rewriting them. The first one should be, "I am the Lord thy God, and thou shalt not have too many other gods before me." The second one is, "Thou shalt make no graven images." This is a major religion, not a shop class. Number 3 is, "Thou shalt not take the name of Adonai thy God in vain without express written consent of Adonai thy God." The name Adonai thy God is the sole property of Adonai thy God. Any use of the name of Adonai thy God without the express written consent of Adonai thy God is unauthorized and illegal and shall be punished by Adonai thy God. 4th commandment should be, "Remember the Sabbath, thy golf game, thy mani-pedi, and thy other appointments." 5 is, "Honor thy parents unless thy therapist says otherwise." 6, "Thou shalt not kill a man in Reno just to watch him die." 7 is, this is really important, "Thou shalt not commit adultery and then run for office." Yeah, good. 9 is, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor when appearing before Judge Judy." And 10 is, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, his servant, his flocks, or his Tesla." Okay, we have some announcements tonight, and Aaron, come on up. You want to use a microphone? Okay. You can either come up to the podium or just use that handheld one. Yeah, take it out of the stand and hold it if you like. Yeah, it's up kind of tall.
Hi, first of all, Mazel Tov, Eden, and thank you because your teaching was the perfect intro to what I have to talk about tonight. My family had the honor of being in Israel with the Radicans, and I think there were 5 families, right?
Yeah, and extended large families.
Tanner Doug and his wife, Rabbi Paul and his wife, and we were all in Israel, and for me it was the first time. And what I have to talk to you about tonight is about Israel. Something's going on right now. Sorry, am I not talking? Okay.
You're doing great.
Okay. I'm shy.
Okay.
It's the World Zionist Congress is holding its election right now, and this happens once every 5 years. And basically, what the World Zionist Congress offers American Jews is an opportunity to participate democratically in the way things are going in Israel. So, like Eden said, the perfect intro, Israel is very complex and very nuanced. And I never understood this until I was there. And I learned, for example, our very own rabbi trained for how many years?
Well, after 4 years undergraduate, it's a 5-year rabbinic program.
Right, is actually not recognized as a rabbi in Israel.
Correct.
And Orthodox rabbis.
Neither are conservative rabbis. Reform rabbis, conservative rabbis.
And
I'm not recognized as a
Right.
cantor, so we can't officiate.
Nothing.
No.
So basically, the Orthodox has control of all the institutions, marriage and divorce and death and all that. But the World Zionist Congress offers a democratic process to decide how a very big pot of money is divided in Israel. And in the last election 5 years ago, the Reform movement had an amazing showing. And as a result of that, a big amount of money became channeled toward the Reform movement in Israel. And our Reform movement in Israel represents our values, pluralism and LGBTQ rights and equality for all and all the things you think of when you think of the Reform movement. And so this is our chance right now, and Rabbi Paul chose this wording carefully. Please do not leave here tonight without doing this. If you are 18 years or older and you identify as Jewish, please see me, or I think Rachel said she would help me. Maybe the other Rachel will help me too. We will help you. We can vote. Everyone can vote. And it's a little bit of an annoying process. It takes like 4 minutes. 4 minutes? Okay, and it costs $7.50, which is basically because we don't want the election influenced by anyone. So we're all sharing the cost of the election, and we are helping our movement have a voice in Israel. And we were lucky enough in Israel to spend Shabbat with a Reform synagogue, a Reform rabbi, and it was amazing. And the sad thing she shared with us is she gets her inspiration from America, from American rabbis. So this is us and our opportunity to please help Israel and help our values grow and expand in Israel. Peace is one of the very important things that Eden talked about that our movement is trying to achieve. So this is your chance. Please don't leave here tonight before getting this done. Thank you.
Wait, before you leave, that was fantastic. Aaron, where are you going to be?
Okay, next to the Tree of Life, there's a poster, and one of them has a QR code. It's so easy. You just open your camera and put it on the QR code, and the link will pop up. But
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it to you this way. What Aaron said was excellent. But Eden would not be able to have a bat mitzvah in Israel. That if she were Israeli. That just doesn't happen because Eden is a woman and was born a woman, and she cannot have a bat mitzvah, and other women cannot read from Torah. It's just not allowed. And so in support of Eden, I am going to say that at least a dozen of you need to go to the corner. There's going to be cookies and yummy stuff after services, right?
Yes.
But you're going to get your cookie, and then you're going to go to the corner, and Aaron will be there, and the Rachels will be there. They will assist you in taking this photograph and doing what you need to do. But if you love Eden, you are going to do this. You have a question?
I do. Is it only people who
Yes, you must be Jewish in order to vote,
And not Israeli.
and not
vote in
Israeli.
the Knesset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? It's a little complicated, and it's something that in the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years, the Reform movement has figured out one of the ways that they look. This country has a certain amount of separation of church and state kind of built into its constitution. There's constantly a battle going on. But for the most part, that is the case. That is not the situation in Israel, it being formed as a Jewish state, a Jewish nation. So there is a battle, interior battle going on as to exactly what that means. And the Orthodox, the super Orthodox, have gathered control, have gained the control from the beginning, and the Reform movement is slowly trying. So you mentioned LGBT, and there's gender issues and women's rights issues, a lot of issues that are very important to us that we battle here in this country, but it's even more challenging in Israel. So it's very important. Something else, Aaron?
If you have to leave, it's on orami.org, and you vote number 2, vote reform. And Rabbi Paul also wanted me to say that this is the number 1 priority for reform rabbis in America for the next month. So it's very, very important.
Excellent. Thank you. So if you love Eden and you don't want to let Eden down, you're going to do this. You have something you want to say, Eden?
Yeah. One of the main Jewish values. Here, don't worry, I'm loud enough. Don't worry about it, Mom. The first line in the Torah is Bereshit Barach Elohim B'Tselem Elohim, which means everyone is created equal in God's image. So we are all equal, but we are all equally unique in our own ways. So basically, right now in Israel, the Orthodox Jews, I don't see why they don't accept it, but they don't. So if you guys vote, you guys identify as a Jew, you're 18 years or older, vote right now so we can fix that. So one, the Torah can influence it, so that can be corrected. And then also, everyone can live happily and do what they want to do. Like, if you want to be gay, be gay. Like, do whatever you want, okay? So,
Okay.
vote.
Excellent. And that's the least you could do until 2044. Okay? When things will all turn around. I believe the Kaddish is on page 294. Someone turn to that page, or all of you turn to that page and just check me on that. 294. The Kaddish, is it 294? Great. Mourner's Kaddish. And we bring into this very festive Shabbat the memory of our loved ones who have passed on. Say their names, bring them into the room. So if you're able, we will rise one last time and recite the Mourner's Kaddish together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach Le'olam ul almei almaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit poar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudisha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rava min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Ose Shalom Bimromav. Huya se Shalom. Aleinu Kol Yisrael. Ose Shalom Bimromav. Huya se Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'imru. Come on up. V'imru. Amen. Yaseh Shalom.
Shkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. V'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us to believe on right. Oh, Adonai. Amen. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Indeed, Mazel Tov to Eden. Thank you all for being here. Let's go out to the foyer. We'll say Motzi and Kiddush, and we'll vote in the election.
Yeah.
Yeah.